16 is the number of splinters, and that one was about the size of a toothpick. Right there, right there, right there, right there. There was smaller ones there. We had that toothpick there, right there. It looks like there's still one in there, there. And then my name's Greg, and welcome to This Flippin' Furniture. I miss woodworking. I haven't fired up the table saw in I don't know how long. So I got to thinking, I found this 4/4 Lacewood that I bought several months ago. And I have this little nightstand of sorts. You can see the veneers are coming off of that. So I'm going to take it all off. I'm going to put veneers on the front of this, and then I'm going to do something else. I don't know what though. Let's get these drawer fronts off. Looks like someone's bubble gum. I've done several projects with this Lacewood, but I never really know what color goes good with this wood that's kind of has that red tint to it. But I never really know what color goes good with this wood that's kind of has that red tint to it. Here we have the veneer missing, and also up top on both sides we have veneer missing. I think I have an idea. The drawers are the same size, so one veneer will cover that. So that's going to be the plan. Even though you don't know what it is, based on my mumbling, I do have a plan in place. Clean this up a little bit first. I normally like to work with walnut, but when I seen this, how red this wood is, I thought this Lacewood would go pretty well with it. Gap right here. And then also on this side. Oh, there's a nail there. Okay. I'm going to try to clean that up a little bit. Oh, the tenon broke. Well, it had mortise and tenon joinery. This side broke, and they attempted to put a nail in there. I'm just going to sand that smooth and put some glue on there, and that should hold just fine. Okay, so we can see the old tenon, and then this one broke off. A lot of it's still in here. That would take some impact to break that. There's a fair amount of glue surface here. We'll just try to put that right back in here. Actually, there's a nail in this one too. Thought I had a couple of sanders around here. I'm gonna go ahead and get this cleaned up a little bit while it's off and I have a little better access to it. I don't want to sand that down to get that gouge out of there, but I may end up painting this anyhow, so if I don't break it first. All right, we'll let that dry for a while. Get our measurements here. I think it was 10 inches. So 10, that's 10 with that dip, so we'll put that 12. All right, kind of excited. I haven't used my table saw in a long time. Here's the Lacewood I'm gonna use. Okay, so 16 inches I'm gonna need on both sides. So that's roughly 4. We'll get 3.5 by the time we square it up. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm going to make veneers. These can be fairly thick. So I need about 16 inches to cover the side. So we're going to put the veneers up and down this way. So this is 16 inches. We're going to get about 3.5 out of each one of these. So we'll need 5, and though this is supposed to be 4/4, it's only 3/4. So So 5, 10, and they're 10 inches. Cut this at like 33 inches. Okay, I did not get that on camera. Cutting these thin strips is always precarious on a table saw, and I didn't get out my thin strip jig just because I did not cut all the way through. So that pencil mark is the width of the drawer. I missed it by a little bit, but I'm going to take a little handsaw and just cut that out just a little bit. And that makes cutting these thin strips a lot safer on the table saw. And then when you cut this, since the kerf of this blade is thinner than the kerf on the table saw, cut as close to the veneer as you can. It'll save you a lot of sanding. All right. I absolutely forgot how many splinters you end up with. There's one there, one there, one there, one there, one there. So if you use Lacewood, plan on splinters. So this side looks good. I want this just a little bit wide. Okay, so what I'm going to do is to get a super tight fit is just keep taking off a little bit at a time until that'll slip right up in there nicely. Probably one more cut. Because you don't want it so much pressure that it pushes out on this, but you want it so it's a good snug fit. Close. But that bottom's in, so this must be out of square just a little bit, but that's all right. So now that's a good snug fit. And I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and cut these right now. Ended. Where's my glue stick? Guess I'll have to break out the high dollar one here. You know, early on I would like take a look at that and say, oh, between there and there, that's enough glue. Nope, you gotta have the glue bonding to the glue. That's just the way it works. You can see how bad those things want to curl up as soon as they get a little moisture on them. All right, we'll give that 75 hours to dry, and we'll come back and do the other side. All right, let's see. Okay. In a lot of wood, especially walnut, I like the grain that comes through. Like, it looks like there's a little bit of a knot there, and you can't really see it. But if you get some moisture on it, like I don't want that on there. I want it to be a smooth consistency in the lace wood. So I'm going to take that and put it over on an edge that'll be cut off. I need to put a little bit more pressure. It seems like the top isn't clamping as tight as I would like it to, so we have that little gap. And then also this is coming apart, so I'm going to get that clamped. I want to put some tape on the back of those holes. And then whenever you think you're done gluing something up, always take one good look. Because look at that gap right there. That's a disaster in the making. All right, we got that gap filled, so we're gonna let this dry, and we'll be back. Another tasty McDonald's coffee. All right, let's see how we did. All right, that looks good. The spacing here is good on each of those. So pleased with that. I'm going to cut off this extra piece so it doesn't get hung up on anything. Front looks good. We have our wonderful spray bottle. Caitlin gave me a recommendation on one to buy off that last video, so I'm gonna order one. In the meantime, I'll use this one with the chewed up handle. Okay, and the controversy rages on. Karen, and not in the negative sense, a subscriber, Karen, she told me to paint the back of my furniture. And I think I talked about it in that last video. I guess I never paid a whole lot of attention in my furniture flipping if I painted the back of the furniture or not. And there was a few suggestions on both sides. Paint the furniture, it looks more professional, more well done. And I say, yeah, except most of what I do, only the back of the wall sees it, so I don't know who, other than when you move it, who sees how professional it is. And sometimes the backs are just not able to be painted, but check this out. So Karen, this paint's for you. I think I'll paint the whole front. I'll have to come back and put some wood putty on those cracks, but I'm going to do 2 coats anyhow. Can I help you? Why are you in here bothering me? You show everybody your haircut you got? And no, it's not time to go out with the goats yet. It's not even dark. But get your hair off of my piece of furniture. You can go out there in a few minutes. I'm not letting you out there now. I said no. You're not going out there. Not yet. Not yet. Adios. I'm just about done. Well, we'll see how that Lacewood and this kind of minty color, I don't know what the name of it is because it's Oops paint from Sherwin-Williams. You'll notice that this paint is kind of a mint green, maybe. I kind of like it. My wife's got it someplace in the house to put this, and not only does she like more beige, she has a particular dislike towards green, specifically mint green. So for those of you who are married or in a relationship with a significant other, here's a good piece of relationship advice. My wife likes the beige and I like the mint green. We decided on a compromise, and that compromise is we'd paint it in beige. This beige is stunning. No, actually, this is the color I wanted to paint it first, and for the record, I'm saying that of my own free will, and I'm not being forced to say anything against my will. I can't believe somebody come in here and stole that cheap little spray. Oh, right here they are. Right where I left them. Did you ever notice sometimes when you're looking for stuff, you end up looking the longest for things that are put away properly? So if you watch my channel regularly, you probably know that we've sold our house, and I've got a little bit of downtime while we're waiting on that other house to sell. So I am going to be putting out a lot of videos in the next month or so I can get rid of some of this furniture that I've had sitting around so I don't have to move it. I've gotten rid of quite a bit already. That's going to definitely need a second coat. I hate when this happens. Whatever that is, I missed it when I didn't clean it or whatever. I like to scrape that off so I definitely notice it, and then sand it when it's good and dry. Hopefully that paint will set better than it's laying right now. Okay, we're going to start my favorite thing here, and that is to divide by non-metric standard tape measure readings. 3 1/4. Nobody knows, really. You can put it into a calculator, but I think I've showed you this trick before, which that's just about 3 1/4. So instead of trying to divide 3 1/4, take your tape measure to any easily divisible number. Let me do it on this because it's a little bit easier because it's flat. So that is 3 3/4. So there might be some math nuts out there that know what that is. But one thing you can do is just take your tape measure and put it on an easily divisible number. 6, 8, 10, 12, whatever. And then divide that in half. So at 4 inches, that's your halfway mark. There is 1 7/8. 1 7/8. So that's an easy way to try to find your halfway point. And if you're doing it for the first time, if you're on the bottom of the tape measure here, don't go to the top over here. So I chose 8, so I'll take it to the top there, line up that, and then 4 inches is your halfway point. All right, this curved piece. Okay. All right. 5/8. Okay, perfect. What you need there, Kappa? You think it's getting time to go again, don't you? Well, not quite. I'll be finished here in a little bit. Can you give me 15 minutes? That's all I need. All right, we'll go up. Come on. We'll go up there with the goats. I just ran out of Odie's oil. I'm running low. My Danish oil. Doesn't that look good? I love that Lacewood. Got some nice texture in there. That's a pretty nice drawer. Got good joinery. There's a few cracks on this one. I'm gonna do it live, see what it looks like. Not bad, right in through there. I can see it. I doubt it comes up on camera. But that's what I like when I'm using veneers or making drawers. You know, if it's not out of plywood, if I'm making veneer fronts, I like imperfections. It makes it real and authentic, makes it overall, I think, a better looking piece. But what do I know? I was gonna paint that mint green. That paint's good and dry, and I sanded this down with 150 grit sandpaper. I'm gonna show you a little trick. If you use glue a lot, especially like the Type Bond, which is good for strength and durability and long lasting, it's a wonderful adhesive. But when you go to glue up veneers, any joinery or anything like that, before you go to put on your final finish, make sure you spray it down with water. And here's why. Those light spots are glue that hasn't been sanded off yet. So there's no way I can finish this with a top coat, a finish, a stain, or whatever. It'll look just like this. So all of this needs to be sanded down yet. I wish I knew what little genie causes this, but I flipped enough pieces of furniture that I pay attention when I pull the drawers out if they're tight or loose or whatever, so I can fix them as I do the furniture flip. These drawers, nothing stood out. When I go to put them in, they won't even fit in there. So I've learned a little trick. You get a little crayon or whatever. I have just this little, it's a lumber crayon. You just push that in there, wiggle it around a little bit, and sometimes you can see where it's scraping. So right there on this left side, just a little bit on the right side, but that's probably more from just running it back and forth. So I think it's a little tight on the bottom down here, somewhere in the beginning, middle, or end. So we could go in there and sand that down a little bit. It's a little easier just to sand the side of these drawers. Okay, that's better, and that's almost good enough once I put some wax on there, but I'm gonna clean this side up. There we go, that'll work. Let me mark this one as the bottom. I think it's those sides. Yeah, it's got red all along there, and all along there. The other one is back here a little bit. These are more in the middle. And I kind of knew it was the sides because each one of those, as I put it in where it rode along that rail, that this crayon made it slide easier. I'm gonna put these on. I got a headache already. Yeah, that's kind of interesting. I don't know if maybe when you sand it down, open up the grain a little bit and put some stain or finish on that, if that expands the wood a little bit, but that happens quite often. I'm gonna let all this sit for just a little bit, come back, put the final coat of stain on, brush up the paint. We'll call this one done. Okay, have those sanded down. And put a little wax on them drawers. Ugh. Doesn't smell good, but it works good. Bottom drawer. Here is our finished lacewood. It will be known henceforth the 16 splinter Lacewood nightstand. Turned out pretty nice. I really like the Lacewood. And as always, thanks for watching.